Oof. I just got done watching one of Stefan Molyneux, or however you pronounce his name's older videos, because someone linked to it on a Facebook group I go to, and this is what motivated me to make this video. Checking out his profile, he doesn't even have 70,000 subscribers yet, and it's plastered with advertisements. Amazon, PayPal, Buttcoin, everything. So he's pretty sincere about the whole anarcho-capitalism bullshit, and he loves his capitalism. And I'm here to tell you all about what a fucking moron he is. Because all anarcho-capitalists are the same. They all espouse the same malarkey. They all espouse the same dry cut and paste type arguments, to the point where you wonder if there's just a big book of anarcho-capitalist arguments and people just recite it word for word. You talk to communists and they're all of different persuasions, and you know, likelihood is very different that one communist is going to be like another. That's why they're Stalinists and Leninists, Orthodox Marxists, Trotskyists, things like that. We vehemently disagree on certain issues because of the fact that we take this shit seriously, and we use what's called dialectics. And dialectics is the method of scientific reasoning. Obviously, anarcho-capitalists don't. They use religion. They use faith in the market that things will get better. And this becomes obvious when you watch some of Steven's videos, and you see shit like the one that I had to endure on Facebook, where he basically said that let's use the milk industry as an example. He gets out his marker board and just goes on this rail about how, you know, if the milk farmers were all to monopolize the industry and they were to jack up the prices, people would just get their milk elsewhere. Well, that's a big assumption to make. Who's to say they could get their milk elsewhere? If they were able to control that much means of production to be able to jack up the price and not fall for it, then most likely there isn't anywhere else to get milk. Hence you have the problem with moderators. Because Google is so big, Google isn't going fucking anywhere. And it's not going to go anywhere until the state intervenes, or until people just march onto Google's doorstep and burn the fucking place down. That's the only way it's going to be gotten rid of. It's not going to magically disappear because people just don't like it anymore. That's not how capitalism works, and he fucking knows that. There's no way he couldn't know that. And, you know, it just pisses me off, because he makes this assumption that if people jack up the price of milk, they'll get synthetic milk, or things like that. Well, again, even if let's say that, you know, the market magically makes things better, and, you know, what I just said did not apply, where they control that much means of production, therefore they're going to be making the rules anyway, and it cares nothing of what the people deem appropriate. There's also the problem of people are not rebels. It's not in their nature. People are not generally they don't like conflict. They don't like having to stand up for themselves. Whether it's because they were raised that way, whether it's because it's in our nature to be cooperative, whatever, people typically just don't like to start shit. And because of that, it's to such a degree that they're not willing to do it for their own benefit and self-preservation, even the self-preservation of their species at large, because they assume conflict equals bad, rather than bad sometimes equals conflict. There is a difference, but men are not rational beings, they are simply cooperative beings, and that's the problem with humanity. But, so what you have is, you have this milk farmers that control most of the means of production and are jacking up the price of milk. People are not just going to stop buying milk. They either want milk or they need milk, and they, as much as it might pain them to have to pay the extra price, they're still going to get milk. Because if what he said was true, there would not be Coca-Cola. There would not be Pepsi. People could spend $1 for a 3-liter of generic soda, or they could spend almost $2 for a 2-liter of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. What do people generally buy? Coca-Cola and Pepsi. One, because to them, the brand means something. They think somehow the brand makes it better, as opposed to objectively, weighing the difference in taste and texture and shit. It's not like there's gonna be wine tasting for fucking soda pop. So, they just look at the brand, and they think the brand equals better, as opposed to what that brand is actually contributing to them. They do not look at the price, they do not look at the actual taste, they do not look at the convenience to get that particular brand. They just figure bigger brand means better. That's how people react. If they didn't react that way, why are things the way they are? It's just the rational explanation. There's a reason we're at point D. We did not get there from point A. There had to be a B and the C in the middle of it. And anarcho-capitalists just ignore that completely. They just think, oh, people won't buy that shit, even though it's never worked that way before. Why would it work that way now? And not only are they not going to stop buying shit, but even if they were to stop buying shit, how long can that go on? Because is it going to stop at the milk farmers? No. It's going to happen to everything. That's why I talk about moderators. Because it doesn't just stop at some internet forum banning you. It goes as far as them peering into your personal information, like on Facebook. So they think you're cattle and can just spy on you and treat you like shit and then fucking ban you as if you're not a human being anymore. That you wouldn't even do that to furniture. Furniture has more rights and gets more respect than human beings do. And, it goes into the video game industry, where they bombard you with all these different mediums that you have to register for and upgrade on and have the okay from. And then one of those can ban you and fuck you, you're out of the game. You cannot play the game you paid for anymore because PS Live or Microsoft or Steam or whatever felt like banning you. So there's just all this bureaucracy, all this stress, all this perpetuation of tyranny upon you, and what are you supposed to do about it? Just not buy anything anymore? Oh, so don't eat, don't sleep, don't do fucking anything. Just fucking sit in a corner and die. That's the anarcho-capitalist answer. Because what else could you do besides go to the government to try to make some decent legislation against it, or just fucking pick up a firearm and start shooting people until it gets better? Those are your only other two options, people. There is no option to just sit there and wait for things to get better, because they're not going to get better. And a lot of the right wing just completely ignores that. I'm glad that the IRS picked out the right-wingers in tax collection and did not give them their rebates and shit. They deserve it. They deserve far worse than that. Because they're the reason why we're not doing anything about moderators. And they're the reason why things are as bad as they are. The fact is, we can't go to the store without seeing something that's overpriced. We can't buy a video game without risking getting banned for no reason at all. We can't live our daily lives without being infringed upon by in some way or another. And yet, when we decide to defend ourselves, when we decide we're gonna be violent too because we're fucking sick and tired of being abused, oh, suddenly there's a problem. Suddenly we're delving into psychosis and terrorism. No. The rich are the terrorists. The bourgeois are the terrorists. The moderators are especially the terrorists. And they need to be gunned down. They need to be hanged on a rope. They need to be fucking skinned alive, etc. And I'm glad to finally see that government agencies are responding accurately to this. And the IRS is making sure not to give them their tax rebates so they can do this more so. And they figure, fuck you. If you don't like the government, fine, we'll show you how mean the government can be, and we'll tax you more than the other guy. I'm glad. I wish I was in the IRS so I could be doing that shit too, and I'd be damn proud of it. I would personally go to Steven's house and reprimand everything he owned. everything he owns would belong to the state, and there wouldn't be a goddamn thing he could do about it. If he has a problem with that, he should have a problem with moderators, because that's what they fucking do on a normal basis, and that's what they do under the guise of privatization. Oh, it's our home, we can do what we want to. Oh, well, I'm a free human being, and I can do what I want to, so you best start respecting my rights as a human being, or I'm gonna take your shit. I'm gonna kill your family. I'm gonna burn your house down. I'm gonna fucking take your dog and stick him in a trash can. That's how you get shit done. That's how you respond to control and bullying. That's the only way it's going to stop. Two choices. Go to the government or go to your guns. Or sit there and die. But that, like I said, that's not an option, so I only say two options. That's it.